Welcome back, future viewers, and thank you for sticking around after the things that happened in the first video. I say that as though I was responsible for the game or plot design there. Of course, I'm not, but I did choose this game still, so I take some of the responsibility at least. So we've seen some of the bad, and I'd like to show you some of the good. First and most obviously, this music. Well, the fact that this had good music was pretty obvious even in the last video, but I'd like to just bring a little more attention to it here. This battle theme in particular is one of my favorites. So that's one of the two things that kind of sold me on the game when I first started playing this map in particular. The other is the tactical situation here, which is no one has any gear. When Lowe said search around for absolutely anything you can find, that wasn't just an excuse for the characters to start this map with really bad makeshift weapons. No, you have to search for that manually. And I've not played a tactics game that makes you do something like that before this. Which is not to say that such a thing does not exist, but still, this game deserves credit. And I wish I saw this sort of thing more often. It really kind of sets the feel for what kind of situation we're in, and that sort of thing kind of carries throughout the rest of the game, because for the entirety of, at the very least, Book 1, we are in enemy territory. Safe places are going to be rare. We'll have to scrounge gear and items from enemy supplies. And that's pretty cool. I approve of that. In fact, even though this is technically the sort of thing that happens in Fire Emblem as well, I feel it more in this game. Maybe it's just because it contrasts so much with other Shining Force games. I'd like to see more creative uses of the search command. Also, don't forget to equip stuff. I have seen a couple of games like Vandal Hearts have things like switches you step on, but I think that with a little bit of creativity, we could have a sort of context-sensitive command that could allow pretty creative map design. Now, Sig is in trouble here because he does not get anything to equip, and unlike in Shining Force 1, monks are supposed to have something at least, so he's not going to do much damage. Therefore, he has to hang back a little bit, at least, until and unless I can come up with a better opportunity for him. And I forgot to equip that bow, not even following my own advice. These two goblins don't really move, but don't get used to that. Most of the time, enemy movement is more like what you saw in Stage 1. Oh, geez. In fact, what did I tell you? their trigger to move is a little more generous than most, but they are not the Shining Force 1 brand of just staying still forever. Huh, no defense up? That's kind of disappointing. So, fun thing about that staff. Excuse me. That's a weapon that's not going to be immediately replaced, unlike some of the others that we've seen here. Basically, if it says something like wooden stick or club, it's going to be replaced by something a little better pretty soon. But not the wooden staff, which means its base power is a little higher. Of course, don't get used to the mage doing the same melee damage as everyone else, but it is useful here. For example, Sig can get that kill now. And that is a rare opportunity on this map. I'll need to work a little bit harder for Apis, since his wooden stick, much like in Shining Force 2, is not a throwable spear. If it was, I'd be able to snipe the kill right there, but it's not. Oh, one difference with sand between Shining Force 1 and CD is that in this one it has a 30% land effect, which is pretty helpful considering the rather difficult situation we're in. I don't know why it's so defensive, but I'll take it. It also makes setting up kills for particular characters easier. Although, well, that's a bit of a reverse for how it usually goes. Usually, Nick gains 1 attack and 2 defense, which makes him kind of the opposite of Max. He's a bit more of a tank than a glass cannon, which is very nice for his role as the king piece in Shining Force. This hero version is one that I can actually use instead of hiding from the enemy for the whole map. I approve. And yes, there is terrain where I can only move 2 or 3 tiles, but that's okay. Well, for one thing, the map is not huge, so there isn't a whole lot of slogging, and also, I needed the time to get my gear in order, so it actually fits pretty well. So, I think this goblin is going to move in and attack right away so I can keep Apis here. Yep. Counterattacks are extremely rare in Shining Force 1. I don't remember any particular time where it happened. Was it not even added until later games? I don't know. Oh, good. Another kill for Sig. And that should be all that he needs for now. Poor Wendy. The thing is, when a game has good archers, you need something pretty convincing to make mages worthwhile. Otherwise, mages become archers except with ammo limitations. And archers are very good just overall in Shining Force CD. So, archers actually suffer a fair... I'm sorry, mages actually suffer a fair bit. Especially because they get their level 4 assassination spells much later in this game. Than they do in Shining Force 1. For most of them, it's level 20 promoted, which I am not going to reach in chapter... I'm sorry, not chapter. In this entire story arc of the game. So that was the first thing that the devs did to reduce the power of mages. They learned their spells later. Unfortunately, since they need to make enemy mages a threat, what will usually happen is that their spell list will pretty much always be better than ours. Well, especially because this is a no-grind run. Kind of gives the impression that our spellcasters are just not very good at their job. Alright. Well, now that enemies move in a more aggressive and predictable way, we can bait them with a little bit more precision. Like so. I don't think that's really necessary. Yeah, let's not forget to heal the main character, shall we? Another thing that kind of adds to the feeling of being in a pinch in this stage is, I don't recall any other Shining Force game that gives you quite as few healing resources at the start as this one. In the last submission, we also had only 2 casts of Heal 1, but we had plenty of medical herbs to make up for it, but now that's not the case anymore. Well, we will, of course, want to concentrate on the scavenger. I probably should have moved him to the left so that Sig could reach him more easily for healing. By him, I mean Roos, of course. Because right now, 3, 4, 5, yep, cannot quite reach... But do I have the MP? Yes, I have... Okay, fine. Heal 2 will work without a problem. That solves that issue. Well, I want to save at least a little bit of magic for the dwarf at the end. I think I'm gonna have to retreat Roost for now. Because if someone else got a turn on him and double attacked, that would be it for him. And that would be embarrassing. That's one of the consequences of hidden turn order. I cannot, off the top of my head, think of many other games that have hidden turn order. It's either player phase and then enemy phase and such, or it is something based on speed and turn points and such things, but you can take a look at something and calculate it, or it just gives you a turn list. So actually there's quite a few things that make Shining Force unique, mechanics-wise. That being said, if someone is not a fan of hidden turn order, I would not blame them. It kind of annoys me as well. Can't beat it for its suspense effect, though. Will I get the turn first and survive, or will that not happen and I need to change my plans very soon? Yeah, these goblins give pretty good experience. I kind of expected them to give less than 49 once I was level 3, but I guess it doesn't quite drop off as fast as I would expect it to from previous experience. So that's going to be a little bit of a gamble, but the goblin doesn't hit that hard, and no one is in... Oh, wait, did I actually heal Roos? No, I didn't. I should do that right now. Yes, this is technically a waste of experience, but Sig has plenty for now. Oh, when comparing mages to archers, there is one difference that I neglected to mention, and that is, of course, area of effect stuff. Now, enemies kind of move separate from each other a lot more in this game than they do in Shining Force 1. I'm sure you've recalled there were a lot of opportunities where there are several kind of bunched up together and you can get pretty big casts. That's not so common in this one. There are some times where I could kind of engineer 2 or 3 of them moving next to each other if I position correctly. And of course it's a good idea to take advantage of that. But it's not something that one can always pull off. And that also kind of puts mages behind a little bit in effectiveness. Well, it's a good thing critical hits don't deal double damage anymore. Oh yeah, I still have 3 casts of this. I'll be fine. Also, the dwarf is not that much tankier than the scavengers. I think it's only 1 extra point of defense. Yeah, attack of 12 and defense of 6 versus 7. So yeah, it's no big deal. Oh, outdoors in general, the tile defense is similar to Shining Force 1. Even a little bit of grass will give you 15%, but in tiles that are just roads you get 0. Those tiles are not terribly common. Also, just for sake of comparison, or, well, this map versus the second battle of Shining Force 1. Yeah, I like this better a lot too. Pretend I said those words in an order that made sense. Alright, and Roos should get this. I said... Uh-oh. Don't double attack. Okay. And of course, don't miss. Oh, okay. That works. I thought he was going to move further, but I guess not. No big deal. Gives me a little time to prepare. I think what I like most about this map is the way it uses mechanics to kind of set the tone story-wise for what we have to deal with. I appreciate that a great deal. I know that it's difficult to do. And putting something like that so early in the game is great for setting the pace. And that's kind of why I even considered this game as an option of what to play next. So, I hope you all are not disappointed. Because once we get this game started, we are not stopping anytime soon. Because there's a lot of game here. Yeah, Apis gets a lot of defense +2. He's a very strong physical tank, unlike his dad. Wait, how do they know about us? And we only said that we were the Shining Force once in Gardania Castle after everyone else had left. Well, whatever. That also kind of happened in Shining Force 1, where people started calling us the Shining Force before we officially got that name. And with that portrait and what she did at the start of the map, I was pretty thoroughly convinced that she would join the party afterwards, but sadly that is not the case. Well, that was kind of by accident. He joins us, though. So we have a second monk already, when the entirety of Shining Force 1 gave us one monk. So now we have a bit more of a healing reserve. And yeah, we can buy stuff now. This is the town map. All the towns are like this. That is a colorful shopkeeper portrait. Credit where credit is due. And now we have basic weapons, including a throwable spear, which is nice. Why does a glove cost more than a sword? Or, well, whatever. Also, I guess I was wrong. We do get an upgrade for the staff. I forget things a little too easily. Anyway, we can get stuff here. I'll do that off camera, of course. And Lo is our NPC priest for this game. He has apparently learned how to resurrect people in his off time, so I'm glad he's kept up with his studies. And that's a nice bit of lore that I appreciate as well. So, I hope you enjoyed that. Yeah, not a big bye-bye speech this time, which is also fine. And I'll see you next time.